Hey everyone, Duke here, and today we're talking about Last Wish. New for this season, Last Wish now has all new roles, along with craftable weapons and an origin trait as well. You can get a guaranteed 2 red border weapons per week, one from picking up the weekly quest at Hawthorne and completing the entire raid, and a second one by then going back to Hawthorne and spending 20 spoils to buy a red border, the same way you can buy red borders and extra rolls of weapons in other raids. You note at least at the time of making this that this red border that you buy with spoils actually counts as 2 patterns, but this is not something that I feel like is very likely to be meant to be happening, so it is most likely going to be patched sooner rather than later. If you're experienced with Last Wish, that's all you need to know, but if you've never done it before or need a quick refresher, I'm going to go over each encounter and what I hope is about 60 to 90 seconds each, so you can get straight into running it. Our first encounter is Kalli. For this encounter, you're going to want to check the middle of the room. There's going to be 6 symbols here, 3 sets of 2. On the outskirts of the room, you're going to see a bunch of plates. There's going to be symbols above each of these plates. Basically, you want to do any plate that has a symbol above it that also has a symbol in the middle. There's going to be 3 symbols that don't match here. You don't want to do those plates. Those are the incorrect plates, which will spawn ogres in the middle. Technically, you need to do that for the challenge, but we're doing a very short refresher guide here. So pick any plate that has a symbol that matches in the middle. Then get on the plate to start the encounter. Make sure one person's on each of these 6 plates. Basically, you're just playing Dance Dance Revolution, avoiding the taken orbs that are going to be on this plate until your taken knight spawns. Go ahead and kill that taken knight, then head to middle. Once you get to the middle, you're doing DPS. After each section of DPS, Kalli is going to form a cloud over her head. When this happens, you're going to want to use the doors below her that will open up in order to protect yourself from the wipe mechanic. Only one person can go in each door, otherwise the door won't close and you'll die. So divide these up as you want. A lot of times we'll use the roster order to go from 1 to 6, starting from the top row all the way across down to the bottom row. Our second encounter is Shiro Chi, an encounter that many players have at least been in before in terms of getting kills and weapon crafting levels. To start, you're pretty much just doing what you would do if you were crafting weapons, killing everything. Once you get to the first section where Shiro is going to be just kind of hanging out, there's going to be 3 crystals that spawn in around her, and you're going to want one person each to grab each of those crystals and shoot each other in a circle. You can go either to the left or to the right, just make sure you're all shooting the same direction, so you basically make a triangle around Shiro to break her shield, and then you do damage. Once you do 1/6 of her health, she's going to go immune, teleport away, and you're basically going to repeat this process, chase her down, kill all the odds along the way, find her again, create a triangle around her with those same crystals, and do another 6th of health. At this point, you're going to go into a puzzle room where there's going to be 3 puzzles, one on the left wall, middle wall, and right wall. You're going to start on the left wall. There's going to be 4 missing pieces on this wall. You're going to have 4 different guardians go on the pressure plates underneath the wall, kind of in the center of the room, that correlate with each of these puzzle pieces on the wall. So for example, if the top left piece was missing, you'd want to stand on the top left plate to fill that in. But again, you do need to make sure that you do this simultaneously, otherwise it will not work. Do this for all 3 puzzles and you'll get some kind of staircase teacups to come down, get to the 2nd floor, and you're just going to repeat this process for the 2nd floor, and then the 3rd floor is basically the same as well. You just have an extra set of adds at the end. Do note that for each individual puzzle room, you cannot stand on the same plate twice, so you'll need to keep track of the plates that you've stood on. Our third encounter is Morgeth. For this encounter, you're going to need one person to pick up the taken strength in the center of the room to start it, and that's going to spawn in a bunch of adds. After a while, there's going to be 2 taken strength that spawn on the left side of the room, 2 taken strength that spawn in on the right side of the room. You need to make sure all of these are picked up as quick as possible, because otherwise they start charging Morgeth, and if Morgeth gets to 100%, you die. You can do this in a bunch of different ways. I usually have one person grab both strengths on left, and then 2 separate people grab 1 each on right. This will force that the freeze mechanic, or the lock-in mechanic, on the left side, and you're going to need one person to kill a captain, pick up the little taken orb, and then cleanse this person that gets froze or kind of tornadoed around in order to save them from death, and you need to do this within 20 seconds. In order to cleanse, you just press your grenade button and just make sure you're right next to that person when you do it, otherwise it's not going to work. This will also steal the taken strength from that person, so now that person that just cleansed will have 2, the original person will have 0. Do note that you can never have any more than 2 taken strength in this encounter, otherwise you will immediately die and the strength will respawn on the field. From here, you just repeat the process. The same person's going to grab 2 strength on the left since they have 0 again now. Each of the people on right can grab 1 and 1 again the same way they did the first time, and that third person that should be on right is going to be your second cleanser and cleanse whoever gets stuck the second time. From here, have whoever started the encounter grab the final orb that spawns in, do damage, and you have completed the encounter. Our fourth encounter is the Vault. This is going to have basically 3 what I call televisions or screens in front of you, next to 3 plates that are on the ground. You're going to need 1 person to stand on each of these plates. That's going to activate the screens. On each screen, there's going to be 3 symbols. Your goal is basically to match each screen's middle symbol with the either left or right symbol on one of the sides of you. So for example, if the middle screen was bird on branch, then someone on either the left side or the right side of you is going to have that bird on branch on their left or right side. Once you figured out the matching symbol, if the symbol that matched for you was on your left side, that means your plate is going to be a penumbra plate, and if it was on your right side, that means your plate is going to be an antumbra plate. There should be 2 of one of this buff and 1 of the other once you figure out all 3 plates. Make sure to remember these buffs, and you're going to start killing everything in the room. Your other 3 people can already basically be doing this, but 1 room will stay open. You're then going to send your plate person inside of the room that stays open, start killing everything. You can help kill stuff from outside the room as well, but once you kill the captain in the back of the room, that's going to lock you in. You pick up this taken essence that will allow you to then cleanse the plates in the middle. The way you know how to cleanse which plate is you're going to have a buff, either Taken Essence Antumbra or Taken Essence Penumbra, and you cleanse remembering which plate was which from the beginning. Repeat this for all 3 rooms and for all 3 runners. Do know that the people that are not running are going to need to be taking out the knights that spawn in the back of each of these rooms. If these knights get to the plates and stick their sword in there, that will wipe the encounter if you don't kill them very, very quickly. Once you've cleansed all 3 plates, you're going to repeat the process 3 total times for a total of 9 total cleanses, and the encounter will be complete. Next we have Riven. There's 2 kind of main major ways to do this encounter, the legit way and the cheese way. Seeing as we're trying to explain this in 60 to 90 seconds, we're going to explain the cheese way. I do have a video that goes into all these encounters into much deeper detail that I'll link in the description that does describe the legit way if you're interested. For the cheese, basically you stand on each of the 6 plates so that you can head downwards as you would normally. You're going to send all 6 people into the blue crystal room. From here, you're going to look at the far wall when you get into the room. If Riven's shadow passes by, you stay in this room. If Riven's shadow does not pass by, you're going to go to the wall kind of in the room that you just came from, and there's going to be a joining allies area here. This will send you back up top, and instead you're going to go over to the right and make your way down to the other room. Once you make it to whichever room Riven's going to end up at, you basically just kill and chill for a little bit. Once Riven comes over, you're going to want to be already set up on the kind of top left side next to where her claw is going to come out. You're going to want to probably make sure to have a well here just because you will be taking damage from the ground, but you just basically hack the claw. You can use multiple different things. I feel like swords are probably the best bet, and other instant damage supers. Tractor Cannon is also very helpful and useful for this, but just do damage until Riven goes into the final stand. Final stand, you get teleported into the kind of alternate dimension. You're just going to want to follow the path until you make it all the way to the top to pick up that single taken strength. That will then teleport everyone back into the first room, where you're then going to see the last bit of Riven's health, shoot her in the mouth, or again, you can just hack her claw again until she opens up. Then you're going to go into Riven's mouth, go to all the way through her mouth and through her throat until you get to the heart, and then you shoot the heart until Riven has been defeated. And finally, we have Queenswalk. At the start, 1 person is going to randomly get Fate's Chosen. That's going to be the only person that can pick up the heart, and basically you're trying to make this heart a relay race all the way to the end. Whoever gets Fate Chosen is going to want to count down their timer, because when they hit 0, they're going to get teleported inside the heart. Everybody else needs to stay inside the aura that is created by this heart, otherwise you will start getting Creeping Darkness, and if that hits 10, you will die. From here, every time someone gets teleported into the heart, somebody else is going to get chosen, Fate's Chosen, and be the only person that can pick up the heart off the ground. So make sure you are ready to do this quickly, as you will be stacking Creeping Darkness while the heart is down on the ground. For the team that stays outside the heart, you're pretty much just repeating this process. Continue to follow the path, and make sure you're counting down your timer, and continue to make sure you pick up the heart when it is your turn to do so. As people get teleported in, there's going to be some enemies to defeat, and there will be Taken Strength in here. For every person that is teleported in, there will be 1 Taken Strength that spawns, and when you grab every Taken Strength, you're going to be able to reset the heart person's timer. So basically every person past the first person can get double the amount of time on their heart running. This is very important and very useful, as you will not make it to the end without doing this at least a couple times. Do note that just like earlier at Morgeth, you can pick up to 2 taken strength. If you pick up a third one, it can kill you, or will kill you, but sometimes it can be useful just to get that reset and then somebody can res you anyway. In terms of doing it kind of the easiest way, quote unquote, whoever goes in first is going to just always be the person to grab the last taken strength. So when they're by themselves, they're grabbing the only one. Once you get like 3 people in there, have the other 2 people grab a single taken strength each, and have the third person wait until the last second on the timer so you can double that time as late as possible. Again, repeat this process until the heart has been moved all the way through the quote-unquote relay race and dunked, and you will have completed the Last Wish raid. I hope this Last Wish refresher guide was helpful, and again, don't forget that there is a deeper dive into Last Wish that I will have linked in the description. Also, if you're looking for some help in this raid, I will be running it quite a bit this season along with the new dungeon, so don't be afraid to come by the stream, and we'll be doing helps and just kind of explaining and answering questions if you have any there. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.